Or the Bay?
Shot the light and rolled an AD-less Lakers squad. LeBron had 33, but it wasn't enough. Traffic jam in the play-in. Phoenix, Sacramento, LA, and Golden State all within 2 games of each other. And I tried to figure out the tiebreakers, and I read an article, and I was going to explain it here, and my brain short-circuited. Nick, perhaps you can do a better job. How devastating was this for the Lakers?
It's the biggest game of the year. And now had they won last night, they would essentially control their own destiny to the 7-8 line. Because of the loss last night, they now have to hope against hope they don't end up the 10 seed. You know what I mean? Because they don't even control their own destiny as far as not being the 10.
Right.
And here's the thing. This loss, though, the ramifications were going to be super significant. But it should be theoretically easy to understand. Well, Anthony Davis wasn't there, and the Warriors had literally the best shooting night in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, it helps.
No team has ever shot 40 or more threes at a better percentage. It's never happened. Draymond, Steph, and Clay all hit 5 threes in a game. That hasn't happened since the 73-win season. You should be able to chalk it up to that. But the reason I can't, and the reason I was angry tweeting, which I promised America I was going to try to do less of, the reason is because despite all of it, the Lakers had a chance in this game. And then Darvin Ham rolled out for the first time. Brew, I knew you were. Hold on. This is going to make me mad.
Darvin Ham's fault.
Well, let me
Darvin Ham's
hold
fault.
on, wait. Here's the thing on this. Let me show you the lineup, and then let me ask you whose fault it is. Because let me show you the lineup that he rolled out there. These 5 guys who had played going into the end of the 3rd quarter last night. Let me check watch. 0 minutes together, and you know why? Because that's an absurd. It's D'Lo, a worse version of D'Lo and Dinwiddie, a worse version of Dinwiddie and Gabe Vincent, and then Taurean Prince and Jackson Hayes. That lineup, and they let go of the rope, and the game's over. The game was over in 3 minutes. And I know you think I'm too hard on Darvin Ham, but here's my question to you, Brew. AD's been excellent and healthy. LeBron's been excellent and healthy. You like the roster. I don't, but you do. Okay. So why aren't they better
I don't
other
think
than the
LeBron's
coaches?
playing as well as his numbers suggest.
Okay.
He doesn't impact the game. He was great last night.
Yeah.
He couldn't impact the game. We saw it against Denver. Great.
So
couldn't
well,
impact the
get
game.
mad at, so you agree with Wilds then?
No, I'm not saying he's the problem. I mean, Wild says he's the problem.
So
I'm not saying that. I'm
saying
just
it in a more
saying the
delicate
numbers
way.
are giving you the impression. Because if you got a guy putting up the numbers say he's as good as ever.
No, I know he's not that. Nobody's saying that. But do you think?
And he doesn't dominate games anymore.
No, okay.
Not regularly.
I get that, which is why they're not a champion contender. But that's not the problem here. My question is this. The Lakers have...
I'm just saying with LeBron, and you know how much I love LeBron, but I'm tired of every time his team doesn't win a championship or doesn't get close, it's somebody else's fault.
But hold on a second.
It's always the coach's fault or the teammate's fault. It's not.
But right, so
he's not to blame, but I'm just saying they're not as good as people think.
Hold on, but wait. So this is the discrepancy here. I agree with you that LeBron is not able to carry a team, obviously, to championship contention by himself. Nobody.
He ain't even being asked to do it by himself. He's got Anthony Davis.
Okay, but here's my question. If we will just go as conservative as possible, Anthony Davis is one of the 15 best players in the league, and LeBron's one of the 20 best players in the league. Okay, be as conservative as possible, meaning
that's very conservative.
Very conservative, right? Why? So if I just say LeBron's the 18th best player in the league, I think he's probably closer to 8th. Call him 18th. Why is the team not better? If you have,
it's on the players, man. I'm not trying to defend Darvin Ham. I'm just saying, if it's not Darvin Ham, it's Luke Walton, it's Frank Vogel, who has a championship, by the way. Play the game. All right, just go out there and play. I mean, we can look at any coach. Steve Kerr, was it his fault? Was he all of a sudden a bad coach when the Warriors were struggling? Some people were throwing out Steve Kerr like, oh, he ain't doing a good job. No, I'm just saying.
No, but Steve Kerr has a resume of a good job. I guess here's my thing. What evidence do we have Darvin Ham's a good coach?
Last year they got to the Western Conference Finals. And nobody expected him to.
And you thought
how about that?
So you think so?
I'm not saying he was working magic, but I think he did a fine job.
Okay. So if the issue I have is if we all think Anthony Davis is playing great, which I think he's playing great.
Playing excellent.
And after playing 98 of 100 games, it's bad. It's unfortunate. He gets elbowed in the face and misses the game. LeBron is. I had Josh the same thing you did, Wilds, because I'm on to all your Wilds dirty tricks. Wilds tried the other day to have. We had Josh do the same research, but for different ends, which was, is there any number we can point to that says actually LeBron's hurting the Lakers? And the answer
is no.
And
is somebody saying he's hurting the Lakers?
Well, Wilds
are you
with
saying he's hurting the Lakers?
I'm not saying he's hurting the Lakers, but trying to find the culprit on why this team, which is excellent and has 2 All-Stars and 2 top 20 guys conservatively, top 13 guys, optimistically, is sitting at the 10 and fighting for their lives.
Right.
Here's what I'll say. LeBron is skilled enough, especially with adding the three-point shot, and smart enough in an NBA where it's darn near impossible to really defend with the floor so spread. He knows how to get his numbers. He's smart enough to do that, but he's not impacting the game even close to the way he used to, in part because he used to be a terrific defender. And now he doesn't do much at all on that end of the floor, occasionally here or there. But I'm saying that it looks like LeBron, like I said, he's not playing as well as his numbers suggest. How about that? Because 2 25-point scores and one of them is a great defender, you'd think they'd be better.
No, so I agree with you that if you can't just pull up LeBron's stats this year and compare him to LeBron's stats in 2012 and be like, look, same guy. Even though he's a better three-point shooter now than I totally agree with that. But the drop shouldn't. In those years of LeBron, the teams are one of the two. We're now talking about them being the 10.
They also were in the weaker Eastern Conference.
Sure, but the number of wins, it's a massive drop. Anthony Davis has been excellent.
Yep.
And I know you think that I'm being too hard on Darvin Ham. I know that everyone was shocked that Taurean Prince and not Rui was in the starting lineup to start the year. I know that the people who cover the team, whether it's the local media or the local bloggers, were beside themselves about it. There was even an article written about how Darvin took from his time in Milwaukee, like the blueprint, and looks at Taurean as his Chris Middleton. And this team started Taurean Prince for 49 games, was 24 and 25. They then finally went to the lineup that took them to the Western Conference Finals, and they're 21 and 10 since then. I know that last night you have a lineup in the biggest game of the year, in the second half in a 7-point game. Why would you ever say, hey, a lineup that literally has never played together, let's try it out now? That's coaching. That's coaching.
But it's still a 7-point game, and Golden State still shot the lights out.
Right, but they had already done.
So we can't say they would have won that game had he not put that lineup in.
No, what I am saying is that you had despite Draymond had hit 5 threes in the first half, that you had gotten through the real muck. Muck's the wrong word. But the assault.
You weathered the storm.
You'd weathered the storm, and you were there in the biggest moment of the season. And it is just, to me, objectively true that in that moment is not the time. Do you agree with this? Not the time to try a lineup that's never played together.
I agree with that. My point is just that every time they lose, it's the coach's fault. But when they're rolling, you've been spouting about how they've been one of the best teams in the league for the last 3 months. All right? Well, was Darvin Ham terrible then?
No, I think overall for the season, I think Darvin Ham has caused more harm than good. I think the obsession with Taurean Prince, who I like as a person, but at this point is one of by any advanced metric, one of the most
minutes had dropped.
It took 50 games. It took most people 5. Taurean Prince, in 2018, it wasn't a great idea, and so it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, it's a devastating.
Let's move on to the Warriors. Warriors were on fire from deep.